I'm really looking forward to getting back to working on a more vibrational level again. I've come out to my safe space in the forest. I've come out using video because that's my medium of sort of rejuvenation, regeneration and whole inspiring sort of communication. I've always got like a high sort of, my natural state is a fairly high, loving, soothing, uplifting sort of state, and it has been, especially particularly in the last three months. And so it's not something that you have to work on all your life and think you have to keep perfecting and perfecting and perfecting. It's just a habit that you get into of like choosing to be happy every day, or choosing to have more fun every day, or choosing to lighten things up every day, choosing not to work so humanly on issues and to allow spirit to work its magic in our lives. So the process that I'm in, I suppose the best way to describe it is I've come out to my safe space in the forest, and what I've done today, and I found it really, really healing, for want of a better word, was I came out, and I know that at the foundation of my energy is this really beautiful, loving, settled vibe. So I found it really easy when I got in front of the video to just settle into that vibe, because it's natural for me, especially when I'm in front of video. I've been practicing it for so long. It's a bit like a channel who breathes their way into the energy. For me, I just put myself in front of a video and I'm automatically in that state that makes me communicate from the clearest sort of place that I possibly can at that time. I know that I can invoke some sort of person to come and speak with. I know that I can call in God, but you know, I really want to say that the God, Spirit, Source, all those energies, all those people who support us, all those people who are in non-physical, all the energies of the universe, the fairies of the universe, or whatever you want to call them, they're always present in our lives. So for me, all I really need to invoke is my access to them, is my clear channel to them. So really, I'm not invoking them as much as I'm invoking my clarity. I'm saying, I want to hear clearly this communication. I want to know what this guidance is telling me. I want to know the best path that I'm able to allow from here at this point in time. So I did that. I came out, and I know you can call together a mastermind group, dead or alive. It doesn't matter who they are. You can actually invoke in a state like this, in a heightened sort of state. You can have really, really clear communication with somebody, and you can know who they are. You can ask for a sign as to who they are. I'm going to be straight with it. I'm going to be honest and open with this in public, that I actually asked to speak with Stephen's future self. We've actually had some communication with that future self part of him in the last few days, so I know that there's a part of him that exists. So what I did was I asked to speak with Stephen's future self. And so I just said, I'm calling in Stephen's future self. I'm calling in Stephen's future self. I'm calling in Stephen's future self. Calling in Stephen's future self. And although I'm not feeling it right at this moment, but I called it in, and immediately I felt like a tearing, and I felt like I'm missing you. And I said, I miss you, I need you, I want you. Thank you for being here to help me. And oh, it's starting to come back now. And although in the real world, if we have that missing you sort of sense for people, it's actually just us missing our alignment or missing our connection to Source. But in this situation, when I had that, I miss you, I need you, thank you for being here to help me, I knew, and the tears were streaming down my face, I knew that that was my emotion that let me know really clearly that I was actually in direct communication with the person that I wanted to speak with at the time. So I got that emotion. That emotion told me, because it didn't feel debilitating, it felt like it was such a relief. It was like, thank you for being here alive on the planet at this time, because I've been calling for you, I need you, I want you, I know, I value the strength of this relationship, I value the strength of where we've been called to go, or where we've called ourselves to go together. So this relationship is really, really important to me. I just really want to do this on a vibrational level. So Stephen's future self, Stephen's future self, Stephen's future self. Stephen's future self. I can feel that wave of a divine grace washing over me. And I do know it's him because I know when I've talked with him before, there is that sense of, which is not necessarily, I don't think it's a positive thing, but just I think that's my recognition of him. There's that sense of, let's talk to you. It's my recognition of you. That recognition of missing you, needing you, loving you with so much depth that it keeps calling us together and together and together and together. And I know that sense of thank God you're alive. I know that sense of thank God you're on the planet at this time. But it doesn't feel heavy, it feels light. It feels light. If something feels heavy, you're off track. If a communication is starting to feel like a negative thing, if it's starting to feel like something that you don't want, you're not communicating with that pure spirit, source, God type of energy. So the way you feel is a direct indication of the quality of the communication you're receiving. Now, their communication is always high quality. Their communication is always of the highest frequency. It's the state of being that we're in to be able to receive that communication in the clearest possible way. So I've had probably about a 25-minute communication with Stephen's future self, and I asked questions. I received answers. I received answers in ways that were immediate. I'd ask a question and I'd get a yes or a no, or I'd get yes, I'm on track. I could feel it, and it felt good, it felt releasing. The basis of everything is that vibrational, that energy at the basis of all of the universe. So we can speak with anybody that we want to. All I needed to do was ask the questions and get the answers. And I'm still walking around in the forest, just sort of integrating it, you know, that sometimes when you change energies, there can be like a feeling of slight discomfort, but it's not unpleasant as it's more like a change. You know, when you change your direction, all of a sudden you take a new road. It's like, oh, I haven't seen this before, I haven't seen this before, I haven't seen this before. So that changing of direction can be a bit like reorientating yourself. When the energy starts to shift, when your vibration starts to increase, when it raises, when it changes, when you expand, you can feel that sense of like difference. But don't always assume that it's wrong or bad or a horrible feeling. Just check in with yourself. Is it just a different feeling? Because if it's a different feeling, you are still on track, you're just expanding. And I would say in most cases, people are always on track, they're just expanding. But I really want to come back to that point again. When you're receiving communication, when you're receiving thoughts, we receive thoughts. You know, we receive thoughts based on the vibration that we're holding. If we're holding a really uplifting vibe, we're going to receive really beautiful thoughts in that match that vibration. If we're sort of vibrating like on a really uncomfortable, fear-based or insecure sort of level, we're going to receive thoughts from a different place. We're going to receive thoughts that are of a different thought form, because everything, the universe, the nature of the universe is expansion. Nothing is ever disintegrated. There is no such thing as disintegration in the universe. It always just changes form. So every thought that's ever been thought is still there somewhere, and we're attracting those thoughts. And we're attracting them from the basis of how we're feeling at the time. The vibration, we're attracting it from the vibration. There's something also I want to say about vision. I've been getting visions. Those visions are coming from that high place. There's a difference between vision and imagination. Visions you receive like for me, I receive a boom. That's a vision. And I get a picture and I see it and I know it and I can feel it in that instant. It's an instant sort of, it's an instant manifestation. And something I want to say about receiving visions like that, receiving them, that's the hard part. Once a vision has been received, the rest, momentum has started rolling, you just follow it, you flow with it, keep going with that thought and flow with it. So the hardest part is actually, which is not such a hard part at all, but that The part that we actually work at is just maintaining our vibration, finding a vibe that we're comfortable with, finding an emotion that we can sit in comfortably and feel like our lives are really working. For me, I like to sit in, at the moment, I like to sit in passion. I like to sit in heightened state of ecstasy and elation and bliss. If I want some calmness, bliss, bliss, bliss and peacefulness. So they're sort of the energies that I love to experience mostly. It was really important for me to come and do this video while I'm still in the process of just integrating the little conversation that I've had on a vibrational level. And it's been a verbal communication. Yes, I had the verbal communication, but nobody else needed to be involved. You can actually resolve every relationship dispute on this level without having to get the other person involved, because you resolve it on that level of you and spirit. And when you and spirit are aligned, miracles happen. That resolutions just occur naturally. Things are brought to you. People, places and events are brought to you. Opportunities keep coming. All of a sudden your mate's had a shift. One thing I do want to mention is I've been involved in things that are seemingly miracles. I've seen miracles happen in somebody really, really close to me several years back who made a physical transformation, an intense physical transformation in about 1 week that most people would need to take a year to achieve. So I know the power of these things vibrationally. I actually affected that. I affected that transformation. However, I'm not the healer here. I can only influence somebody's transformation. I can only create a $6 million man if that man wants to become the $6 million man. So I can affect change in people. I can affect soothing in people. I've done it just recently from a physical affliction standpoint. I can hold somebody and bring about their soothing in a really short space of time because I hold them in that state of everything is perfectly whole and complete. And when I do that, when I invoke God is always present though, you know, but when I deliberately call that spirit energy, that source energy into our communication, it settles both of our energies immediately. It sort of settles, it calms, it has that soothing sort of effect, and it allows resolution to take place at a deeper level.